Welcome to the Non-Negotiable Living podcast, where we're building lives by design by creating non-negotiable habits around fitness, family, faith, and financial freedom.
Hey friends, welcome back to Non-Negotiable Living, the podcast where we get real about what it takes to live life that feels good from the inside out. And today we're diving into something that hits hard after vacation or travel, and it's why you feel so ballooned out after a trip. You know what I'm talking about. Your stomach's distended, your rings feel tighter, your ankles look like marshmallows. The scale's up 5 pounds and you're wondering, did I just blow all my progress? Spoiler alert, you didn't. So let's break down why this happens and talk about how to fix it fast, efficiently, and without falling into the trap of guilt, restriction, or overcompensating with workouts. So first off, let's talk about the science behind why bloating happens. Because if you understand why your body reacts this way, you'll stop beating yourself up for something that's totally normal and fixable. And also we'll talk about some preventative measures. First off, let's talk about flying. So cabin pressure equals gas expansion. When you fly, the air pressure in the cabin drops, causing the gases in your body to expand. That includes the air in your gut, which creates bloating, discomfort, and that puffy feeling, even if you barely ate anything on the plane. Also, sitting still on a plane for extended periods of time leads to fluid pooling. So whether you're on a flight or in a car for hours, sitting for a long period of time slows your circulation, which means that fluid pools in your lower body, especially your feet, ankles, and legs. So this is why you end up with cankles after a long flight or a road trip. It is terrible for me. I get such thick ankles and my toes get puffy. So this is why compression socks are a really good idea when you're traveling, but so many people don't use them. I don't either. Also, when you're traveling a lot, you're eating at a lot of restaurants, so it's sodium and fat overload. So even when you're trying to make healthy choices, restaurant food is loaded with salt for flavor and preservation. So it's not always your fault. You could be selecting the healthiest item on the menu and it could be loaded with just extra salts and fats that are not deemed necessary if we were cooking at home, but that's how they make it taste so good. Also, that excess sodium pulls water into your tissues and leads to that noticeable water retention, especially when you pair it with less water intake while you're traveling, less movement, and the dehydration from flying or driving. So that puffy, sluggish feeling that you get, it's not fat, it's just your body holding on to extra water like a sponge. And we're going to talk about constipation. And that comes from routine disruption. So your body loves routine and traveling throws that off. You're eating less fiber, different foods, you have a new sleep schedule, you're drinking less water, and then boom, all of a sudden you haven't pooped in 2 days. So this is totally normal and very unfortunate. One of the best things that you could do for this is making sure you stay hydrated and prioritizing fibrous foods and continue to move around, get your steps in. So just remember, bloating and gas and discomfort, low energy, all of those things are normal byproducts of that post-travel hangover. But it's not you, it's just your digestion yelling for help. So let's talk about 5 ways to prevent that travel bloat. I know that this might sound wild, but not changing your diet and cutting carbs or eating less before your trip. I know that so many women will cut carbs, they will undereat for a couple weeks to try and lose that 5 pounds before vacation. This is actually very counterintuitive. So when we cut carbs before vacation, we drop a lot of water weight, which means that immediately when we go on our trip and we start drinking and eating carbs and consuming a lot of salt, that water weight just bloats us unreasonably. So if we eat normally leading up to our trip, you're going to see less of those symptoms because we're not prepping for our beach body. You are actually like wrecking your metabolism and setting yourself up for the rebound water retention if you're cutting carbs and cutting calories before vacation. And let's be honest, you don't lose 5 pounds of body fat the week before your trip. If you didn't start working on this 5 months ago, 3 months ago, 5 weeks ago, you're not losing any weight before your trip. Carbs store glycogen, and glycogen holds water. So if you deplete it before vacation and then you reintroduce it via carbs, margaritas, pasta, tacos, as you should on vacation, your body soaks it up fast, and the result is a scale spike and a lot of bloating. So fuel properly the week before your trip so your body can handle the indulgence better. We need to hydrate early and consistently throughout our trip. Water is your best friend on travel days, so make sure to drink 16 ounces before your flight, your drive, sip throughout the day. Flying dehydrates you faster than you think, and I know a lot of times on road trips you don't want to have to pee a lot, so you try to drink less water. So try and add electrolytes to your water before, during, and after travel. So you could use any of those hydration packets. I really like the Element brand, but you could also just do some Himalayan sea salt and a squeeze of lemon, and that does the trick too. One thing that I live and die by with travel is packing calm magnesium. It's a game changer. I bring it every time I travel and it helps with bloating, sleep, pooping, and nervous system regulation. It's a natural way to help keep your body from freaking out in new environments, and most of us are chronically magnesium deficient, so it's also going to help prevent middle of the night cramps in your legs if you're dehydrated or if you're walking more than normal. So definitely pack that Calm if you've never tried it. I love it. I take it daily. Walk often. So movement helps circulation, digestion, and stress. Even if it's just a 5-minute walk to start the day, 5-minute walk at rest stops, pacing the airport before boarding, stretching some in your hotel room before bed, all of those things are going to help reduce leg swelling and keep your digestion on track. Also, at the end of long travel days where you're walking a lot, I would recommend laying on your floor or bed in your hotel room and putting your feet up on your wall. Not only does it help regulate your nervous system, but it's going to help with that fluid pooling that you're experiencing. Now let's talk about the 5 ways to reset post-travel. So now that you're back from your travel, let's get you back to feeling like yourself again, without crash diets or starting over. First off, do not weigh yourself day 1. Give it 3 to 5 days. You're inflamed, you're holding water, you're probably constipated. The scale will lie. We need to focus on flushing out the bloat first. Typically, I'll say for my clients, if you come back from a trip, don't weigh yourself for a week. Let your body recover before you get on that scale and give yourself a heart attack. You need to focus on hydrating, walk, and sleep. We're not taking some detox juice. We're not taking water pills. We need to just drink water, half your body weight in ounces at least. We should be walking our 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day and try to get to sleep by 9:30 or 10. Try and make it early. I know that when we're traveling, we tend to stay up a lot later. These 3 things are going to reset your hormones, your digestion, and your mood faster than anything else. Now, when it comes to eating, we need to be focusing on protein, veggies, and smart carbs. Don't restrict, don't skip meals. You just go back to normal plating. So make sure you're getting your 6 ounces of protein, 1 to 2 cups of veggies, and carbs at every meal. Fuel your body so you can shed the bloat. The worst thing that I see women do after a trip is try to just cut carbs, cut calories, and crash diet their way back to their weight. It's not necessary. We don't have to earn our food again after vacation. You didn't ruin all your progress. If you are consistent most of the time, that week off isn't going to make a difference. Also, we need to get back to making sure we're not constipated. So take your magnesium. You can drink warm lemon water in the morning. You can add in some chia seeds to your food intake. Make sure that you're getting high fiber foods because constipation is a huge contributor in that travel bloat. So if we can flush it out of our system, we're going to feel better. And just the reminder, you didn't ruin your progress, so say it with me. I enjoyed my trip. I'm grateful for my body. I'm resetting with love, not punishment. The more grace you give yourself, the faster your body's going to respond. So we have to shift our mindset. I've had clients tell me, I can't make progress on my health journey because I travel so much. It's like, no, you just don't make smart choices when you travel. So I need to say this loud and clear. Enjoying your vacation is not going to destroy your progress. If you travel a lot for work, that does not mean that you're doomed to fail. What destroys your progress is quitting every time the scale spikes because of the travel bloat. Travel doesn't make you have to start over. It's part of our lifestyle. And if you want sustainable results, your lifestyle has to account for travel, trips, fun times with our family, and not restricting when we're having those times. So you don't need to restrict before or after your trips. You need to build a body that can bounce back from anything. And one thing that you're going to find is the more muscle mass you have and the more consistent you stay with your habits when you are traveling, the less likely the scale is going to be impacted. Some of my clients will come to me and say, Ashley, I used to gain 10 pounds every time I went on a trip and now I don't gain any. It's like, yes, because you are cognizant of your protein intake. You're drinking enough water. You're getting your steps in. Even if you're not working out, you're still making better choices than you would have previously. So just remember, making those positive choices is going to make a big impact. So just to recap, travel bloat is normal, but it is preventable in a lot of ways. We need to focus on water, walking, fiber, and sleep. Those are the real detoxes. We need to not starve ourselves before our trip, but just fuel smarter. I do recommend taking Calm Magnesium. eating your protein and getting back to your habits as soon as possible when you get back from your trip. While you're traveling, if we can focus on hitting those steps, prioritizing protein, and then avoiding like excessively salty foods, that's going to be beneficial. Also, the more we drink, the more bloated we're going to feel. So just understand that that's a byproduct. So if you're tired of punishing yourself after vacation or every weekend away and you need some help, go ahead and shoot me a message on Instagram and we can talk about what I do with my clients to help get them on that track. But you deserve to enjoy your life and feel good in your body, and those two things don't have to exist independently. We can do both. So I hope you guys have a great day. Keep leaning into your non-negotiable habits, and if you need any help, reach out to me on Instagram.